Hello, I'm Angela Tahara, and today I'm going to be making encaustic wax. I'm going to use damar resin and beeswax, and I'm going to make it from scratch. So here we go. The first thing you need is your beeswax. I like to use the bleached beeswax so that it doesn't mess with the colors when I make colors. The damar resin, I weigh it and I like the 7-to-1 ratio. The next is I'll have my molds ready. I like to have different kinds of molds. That'll be your own preference. This is the cheesecloth that I'm going to drain through into another pot. So I already used this for one round about a month ago when I made this. And you can see in the damar resin there's all this tree bits and stuff. So I can use this a few times. And so this here is about 36 layers of cheesecloth. So as long as all of this stuff doesn't get into your finished product, it's all good. And then the tools, that's it for the tools that I use. And it's as simple as that for what you need when you make this. So to start it all off, I'm going to melt the wax first. First things first is we're going to turn on the fan. Then I have a gas stove. So I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to get the wax starting to melt. I'm going to get the wax melting first, get a little bit on there, and then I'm going to put in my damar. And the reason why I want to get wax going first is because this is a little bit more of a toxic element, and it does take longer to melt, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. We're not in a race. But we want this coated so that if there is any steam coming up, first off, it goes out there. But if there is, we want the wax to be coated over this. Why not have it coated in wax and be more safe? So let's get this going. So I got a good deal of wax already melted, so I'm going to pour this in, and I don't want to be breathing this in, so I'm just going to keep it really on the down low. There we go. You can wear a mask when you're dealing with this. Some people are more sensitive than others, and of course it's not good to breathe this in. You can do this outside. I prefer it inside because we already have our ventilation, and also we've got a nice firm stove here, and so it does work well within the home. So we're just going to let this melt. There we have it. So the damar is pretty well coated there, and it's doing a nice job of melting down. So we're just going to get this block all melted in at the same time, and by the time this big block is melted, that damar should be all melted too. You're going to hear it crackling. How hot should you have it? So I have it on medium temperature, and I will put it down to low. You never boil. Boiling's not necessary. If you're creating smoke, then it's too high. Yeah, just keep it on the down low and take your time making it. And once all of that resin is melted, then it's done and it's ready. Been working on this for about a half an hour. That's not too long. You can see how dirty it is. That's all comes from the damar resin, so we're going to be filtering that off shortly. We are now 100% melted, stirred nicely, and the heat is off. So now we're going to filter it, which is easy enough. I have to remember that my filtering pot is smaller than my quantity pot, so I'm just going to do this as the speed that it allows me and the pot size that it allows me. And we'll just get to that right now. It is a slow process, but it's really quite hot, so it will go down through all of those layers. It took me a while to figure out the formula of the layers, but like I said, there's like 36 layers. Any more and it gets clogged, any less and it then the tree bark and everything starts to fall through. Now if it does fall through, it sinks, and so you'll see it at the bottom of your cooled pucks, so it's not a big problem. You can just scrape them off afterwards, but you know, it's good to get rid of the big bulk of it like you're seeing right now. Now that it's nice and clean, I can transfer them over into my molds. So these are silicones. So I got them in my silicone molds. And I like all different kinds of sizes depending on what it is that I'm doing. Or else I might put it into one of these molds, which are a bigger mold, and then I freeze them and then I break them up with a hammer, and they break up really easy once they're frozen. And then those are all just random pieces. So that's the process. Right there shows you how much tree crud is inside of the sap, to give you an idea of what it looks like, and I don't want you to worry about that at all. That's very normal. And in a little more than an hour, pretty close to an hour, it took me that long to make 3 kilograms of encaustic.